Hey everyone, and welcome back to the final race of the championship. In this race I managed to figure out my camera settings, so I'll not show the qualifying. However, I didn't do the best and qualified down in 10th. End up swapping my car on the final few laps of qualifying, which managed to get me into this position. I was hoping for this car to be a little bit faster, but I'll spoil it figures, it isn't. Now, not much actually happens in this first race, but I'll get a couple of key highlights, but hopefully you'll stick around and watch the second race, as a lot more happens. So an okay start off the lights, only losing to the person on the inside. The first corner was a little bit greasy, I was hoping to make a little bit there, however that wasn't the case. And thus everyone's going to settle into their positions of speed. As you can see a little bit in the distance, the top three is Zach, Callum and Andrew, who were battling for the lead all through the day. It would have been nice to join them at the front, however that wasn't the case, especially in this race. Now the person in the red suit just went a little bit wide on that corner, which allowed me to go on the inside. However, I am on the outside for the next corner to try to make the switchback work, which it did. I was a little bit worried he was going to hold it round the outside to have the inside for the chicane, which wasn't the case. I will just jump to the next lap just to see exactly what happens here. Now the person in the Red Bull hat has went for the overtake, which allows me to follow through. But the main thing is, if you look a little bit far ahead, you've got two people who've just taken themselves out. So that allows me to get another couple of positions. However, the leaders are long gone, so winning this race is out the question. So we will skip to lap 4, where we lose all of that hard work, which we've just done, putting us back down to 9th. A little further on in that lap, I felt a little tap on the backside, which gave me a little bit of a boost, which let me line up an overtake for the person in front. So going down the inside here, I tried to make enough room for the person behind to also follow me through. Quick glance back, I noticed that it was Kev Hunter, who I mentioned in my last video, who was doing really well before he got a black flag in the final. So you saw me try to wave him past, or to say you can at least go as we get into the straight. Now as soon as I come off the corner, I felt Kev ram me up the backside one more time, meaning that he wanted to try to catch the people in front, thinking that we could work together. Unfortunately, he did this way too long, which just slowed him up. I cut to lap 9, where he finally decides to overtake us, even though I've been trying to wave him through so many times. And jumping to lap 11, he's nearly the entire straight ahead of me. Now when you're on the track, you're not sure of your position or how long is left of the race. I actually thought I was doing much worse than I actually was on this race. But how this format works is, if you win the race, you get last placed kart. Likewise, if you are in last place, you will get the person who finished first kart. So I thought I'll let everyone past and make it a bit more entertaining by having a kart that I know is quite fast, and try to make my way through the field. Now I don't know anyone else who can mess up being last, but I managed to do so. So here I am in 15th position now at 19th, and as promised, there's a lot more entertainment in this one. Now if you watched my last video, you will already know that I have came second in the championship. So I am purely here for fun and to try and get as much entertainment as I can out of this, and hopefully for yourselves as well. So I managed to get a good start off the line, as you can see, making a couple of positions, a little bit on the grass there, but they are all lawnmower engines at the end of the day. So up into 14th is coming from the first corner and seeing an opportunity to get a little bit further, giving the person in front a little bit of a bump, and accidentally running to the side of that person there, so a quick wave to say sorry. But I do know I need to get to the front of the pack as fast as I can, because if you're not moving forward, you're definitely going to go backwards. So if we look a little bit ahead, the front people are battling, going a little bit defensive into the first centre rest, just to make sure no one can get their places back, and at least get a bit of clear air for the people behind. Now I'm pretty confident in the kart's overall feel, so it's handling quite well. Alright speed, so trying to line up and overtake for the next corner. Normally people go quite defensive, but no matter what, I was definitely wanting to get this position here. Now I need to make sure on exit that he doesn't hold it all the way around the outside, so just give him a little bit of a squeeze just to make sure that he can't make the cut back. And there's another position there, so down to 12th with my eyes on the next place in front. Now it does look like in all of my videos is the person in the red suit with number 1 on seems to be my rival, as I always seem to be with him. Now I do apologise, I'm not quite sure of your name, but if you do watch the video, drop a comment below just so at least I can use your name in the next video. So a little bit defensive on the straight, as I'm not sure if the people behind us have that little bit more top end, and I don't want to lose any time to the people in front. If we look a little bit further ahead, number 1 seems to have gone into distance, so winning this race might be out of the question, but we want to see exactly how far up the pack we can get, and hopefully a trophy, which we'll see later on. Now the pack seems to have bunched up a little bit more and we're caught right up. Now something is going to happen that I'm not very proud of, but it is going to give me a thumbnail for this video. But keep an eye on the Red Bull hat. Yes, he's definitely turned backwards. I did have my hand up there for a little bit to say really sorry, as I did not mean it. And just taking a little bit closer look, I was expecting him to use the entirety of the track on exit to carry on his speed. However, he started to go through the middle of the track. Thus, my front bumper met his rear bumper. So I am really sorry for that. So if you are watching, I'm sorry. Back to the race, and it looks like someone has done the same thing to somebody else on the hairpin, but at least there's an extra position for me. So up into 10th, and nothing really happens for a lap or two. So I will skip ahead to lap 4, and we can see I'm on the bumper of the person in the red suit, which we will call my rival, which we're just lining up for an overtake to the hairpin. Again, good run, but no matter what, I was going to go for the move. Little bit late, but at least I've made that stick, making sure I use all of the exit to make sure that they can't get any sort of cut back or make it round the outside. So my focus is on the car in front. We're down to 9th, and as we can see a little bit ahead, there is a nice gaggle of karts. We're nearly going 2x2 wide down the straight. Once again, I'll skip a little bit ahead to lap 6, which seems to always be going into the chicane and hairpin rewatching this back, but at least a little bit more entertaining happens. Now we can see the person in the green hat in front put the person with the blue and white hat offline, making us go 3 wide into the hairpin. Now wanting a piece of this as well, I wanted to try and force my way down the inside. However, I ended up making one of the best moves that I've probably done in a while, getting 3 on that corner. That puts us down to 6th. So a podium is on the cards. Now if you're enjoying this video so far, I'd really appreciate a like or even a comment down below, as it certainly does help to get some extra views. So I appreciate the support so far that everybody that's watched my video, and returning people to watch the other videos that I've have. So thank you very much. Right, so I'm on the bumper of the person with the yellow hat now, which a bit of a weird place to try to get an overtake, but I tried to go down to this fast kink to the left, which I managed to make it stick with a good run out the dog leg, and then at least run him a little bit wide. However, he is still on my outside there, going inside just in case he tries to get the switch back. And something which I didn't expect him to do is go down the inside of the second centre S here. So it puts me in a not the best position going into the chicane, which allowed us to go 3 wide going into the chicane once again, but at least I am on the inside. As long as I hold my position, there wasn't a way for them really to make that stick. Now with all this battling and a little bit of defensive play, the person in 4th place has got a little bit of a break, as well as 3rd place. Now I wasn't sure at the time exactly how many laps were left, but I made sure that I tried to push as hard as I can to try and catch the people in front. Now I promise this is the last skip forward, so to lap 11 and we are on the bumper of 4th place, and strangely enough over to the chicane. So I didn't have enough speed to actually get the inside chicane here, but I was able to put him offline. Now I actually lined him up by braking that little bit early, going that little bit deeper into chicane, making sure I can get the cut back around the outside, and as soon as I knew I had a little bit in front, is able to make that defensive so he wasn't able to get me on the inside. Now that brings us to 4th place. Now if you try to look a little bit far ahead, you can't actually see the person in 3rd place, which is actually Penfold, and you can just see him at the end of the straight there. So I am going that little bit defensive to make sure at least I keep this position, as anything can happen. We've seen people get black flags, but I'm actually happy how this race has gone. I'm pretty chuffed with myself, managed to get to 4th place It might not be a last to first challenge, especially with me messing up being last in the first place, but from getting to 4th position with a grid of drivers who have been doing the championship all year, so there isn't really any slouches, is I'm quite happy with. Now, while just finishing off with the last 2 laps of the race, previously I mentioned if I was able to record any of the BPEC round. Looking over the regulations, you're not allowed any cameras during the race, but hopefully I'll get a practice session or 2 to upload, and if there's any sort of stream, I will try to pull some of the footage from that. But I think I'm actually going to lie to you and skip to the last part of the race. Now, as mentioned before, really appreciate the engagement I've had in the last videos. If you can, please give this a like if you enjoyed it, or even a dislike, if there is a dislike button. I'm sure there is. And I love to read your comments below. Comment below if you feel like it was entirely my fault while that person span, or indeed if there's any of your favourite parts, any good overtakes, or if you think that I am pants. I want to hear it all. Please comment below, as again, it helps my videos get noticed by more people. Now that brings us to the finish line, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the track next time.